Thank you so much, Dr. Maria, and thank you all for this beautiful space here. It's very special. It's actually a space of healing, of reflection, of connecting deeply with ourselves. My name is Makarand, as you can see. I work here with Dr. Singh and Dr. Maria Scanziano Singh, and with the wonderful Access Healthcare physicians, which all of you know, I'm sure. I only wanted to say a few words for those who have come for the first time. We had an earlier program on the Veda. How many of you were here last time Dr. Singh spoke on the Veda? Angela here was here, and a few others were here. And what we are trying to do here is also create a space for poetry, sacred poetry, a space where people can come and share their own creative output, if you like, or inputs, or they can choose a poem they love by somebody else. And that's another way to share and to connect deeply with ourselves. In fact, we have a treat today. Apart from Dr. Singh, Dr. Maria is also going to present a poem of hers. So it's going to be, I think, the first time that both of them are going to read together their poetry. I will say a little bit about the Veda in a moment, but I want to refer you to a couple of the books that are here. They are books on Sri Aurobindo. He's very important to the way in which we understand the Veda, as Dr. Singh will explain. And here's a book by Dr. Singh himself called The Veda Made Simple. Those of you who are interested, the book is here. And there's a couple of books of poetry of his, which are also here. This is a romantic collection. There was a girl I loved once. And of course there are people he loves right now as well, very much. And here's a book called Satya, which means truth, but it's actually his father's name. And this is a book of poems written to his father after his father passed away a couple of years ago. But just a word or two more about the Vedas. Now, the Vedas are some of the oldest texts or compositions of humankind, right? They are considered sacred scriptures of the Hindus, but that's not how we want to regard them, because the Veda literally means knowledge or wisdom. The word Veda, the same root, gives you the word wit, and also the word vedere, which comes from the Latin cognate of the Veda. So we have Vedere University, and I happen to be the Sri Aurobindo chair of Vedere University. But the reason I'm saying all this by way of introduction is that we want to keep these events completely non-religious and non-sectarian in the widest, most inclusive sense, and yet not lose that sense of that profound sense of the longing that all of us have, I believe, in our hearts for that which is beyond us, that which is eternal, that which is wider, more extensive, more elevating than our mundane and day-to-day existence. You've just heard about heavy metals, I think, of different kinds, and how they get inside us. We're going to, I suppose, lighten ourselves a little bit, also enlighten ourselves, and with some music maybe, or with some poetry, but it's really about that unbearable lightness of being. And I think today's episode of The Amazing Vedas is actually about bliss, because everyone says follow your bliss, but where is this bliss? Is it inside you? Is it outside you? Is it everywhere? How do you access it without substance abuse? How do you get to it? And in simple terms, how to make your life more meaningful, more energetic, more beautiful, because poetry is also about beauty. It's a pursuit of beauty and the expression of beauty, the beauty that's within all of us. So with these words, I'm going to invite Dr. Singh, And we'll have two parts to today's evening. First, there's a presentation, there'll be some chanting, and there'll be a meditation of some kind where we try and connect with ourselves, I suppose. And then we'll have, some poetry reading, And there are some people already on the program, but if anybody else wants to read or wants to offer a poem, I think they're most welcome. So thank you all for coming, and please do join us. We want to make this a monthly event at least. And I also want to point you to a YouTube channel called Oro Veda. Maybe we can post the links or send them to you because we have a mailing list where you will have occasion to listen to Dr. Singh on the amazing Vedas. There's a podcast series. There are 18 episodes already. So we invite you to tune into those, give us your comments. And there's also, for those of you who are social media savvy, we have the amazing Vedas on Twitter or on X as well. So please follow us there. With those words, Dr. Singh, over to you.
The Veda is a very interesting work of poetry, literature, humanity's first song. And so interpretation can be at any layer you want, because it has to be eventually an individual interpretation, because it is a poetry of symbols. And symbols, as you know, can be interpreted any which way you want. It is how you respond to it. I have one way to respond to it. That's not the absolute right way. That's one individual, unique way. So I'll just introduce you to the first word. Now, we have talked about in the past, the first word of the Veda is Agni. Agni is a word that we still use in English. Ignite, igneous, Agnes, it means a fiery person, someone full of a lot of passion. So the first word is Agni Mire. I adore Agni. Very mysterious words, a very mysterious word. I adore Agni. The poet does not tell you what Agni this is, what fire this is. You can see it in your own life, how you take it. There are 1,008 descriptors used in the Veda about Agni. At the end of it, we don't have one definitive definition, one definitive concept about Agni. So you can each feel Agni in your own way. This is just to feel. This is a way to approach a symbol in a very interesting way, and I found it very interesting because it connects somehow to this date, and you can relate it any which way you want. But Agni, one interpretation of Agni is divine love, love inside, love in each of us. Pure love without selfishness. So the word that is cognate related to Agni is agape. Agape is a Greek word, nothing you talked about. Agape is divine love. In the modern setting, in the modern theologic setting of, say, Christianity, it would be Christ's love. Okay, I'm not trying to nail it to one way, just whichever way you relate to it. It could be ancient Native American way of seeing Agni as being everywhere, around us, inside us, in the ground, in plants, in water. Agni is also energy. So Agni is a creator, it is not a destroyer. So I'll chant it, and then I will show you how it jumps from Agni to the next principle of our life. So, and this is how I connect it. The first chant goes like this. Om Agni Mihire Purohitam Yajnasya Deva Mridvijam Otaaram Ratnathatamam. Sounds beautiful to me. What it means is a very mysterious statement. Is I adore the fire. The fire that is my priest, or that is my leader. the fire that has the bliss of truth, the fire that is my warrior, the fire that is auspicious and has all the delights of existence. Now just let it sink for a little while. Where is this fire? This fire that leads me, that is my bliss, that is all the richness of my life, it gives me, and it is my warrior. So I let that filter. And the whole first hymn is about fire. And it jumps from one to the other. Just when you think you have figured it out, it confuses the issue. And one hymn says, this fire that is all around me. What was that? The fourth couplet in this hymn is Agneyan Yajnamadvaram Vishvataf Paribhurasi. In my journey towards the truth, this fire surrounds me from all sides. It's a very interesting statement. We are surrounded by a fire. Each of us is surrounded by a fire that leads us, that protects us, that is our warrior. People take it in a very ritualistic sense, because there's an ancient sense of lighting a fire and worshipping it, which is a ritual, ancient ritual. But I think it means much more than that, because that fire which you are lighting cannot be leading you, cannot be wrapped around you as your armor of light. And each of us has an armor of light. We may not recognize it, but we always have it. In fact, I would say the moment that armor is gone, we are gone. Through all of the impossibilities of life, we are here. We have no reason to be here. If you look at all the things that could have gone wrong, they didn't go wrong and we are here. When I say wrong, means something else could have happened. So something has brought us here the way we are, and something carries us. To me, that is that fire. Something is doing all the things for us, and we don't even know what they are. Now the interesting thing happens, which to me was quite a revelation, which I'm sharing. The next hymn takes off to a completely new direction, and the poet invites the wind to come and share Soma. Soma is an ancient word, but we still use this word in modern biology, in medicine, and I think even normally. You may have heard of this word psychosomatic. Somatic, soma, the body. But soma also means the moon. And soma also means bliss. So what happened here? We moved from fire, we had just talking about the fire, and now we have jumped to bliss. And this bliss is offered to all the powers in you. So the wind means our life force. Wind is all that we breathe in. You might have heard Dr. Maria talking about what we breathe in, breathe out, that keeps us, that sustains us. We offer this bliss to our life. Then we offer this bliss to our mind, the second part of the hymn. And the third part is you offer it to your emotions. To me, it was a fabulous poetic leap. So let me go back to the steps. Step one, you probably don't need it. Step one, you light the fire within. Step two, which is not a step, it's a leap. is you're offering bliss to all your life, to your mind and your emotions. To me that was a...
If you have a slide, you can...
Let me see if it will work. Okay. Not good with this, but I'll try. Okay. So, in the modern world, we talk about follow your bliss. You know, Joseph Campbell's famous mythologist. People asked him what his advice was, the youngsters, and he said, I have only one advice, it was follow your bliss. Whatever gives you bliss, you do that. But I think the origin of this bliss is something that goes back to an ancient human realization. And the bliss point you all know. Modern life wants to take us to the bliss point. If you don't believe that, I'll share with you some research on soda. You know how they hook you on soda? They put so much sugar in it that once you have tasted it, you hit a point of bliss. Your brain hits a point of bliss. So much sugar, rush of sugar, and now you're hooked. You want that. So people who are having Pepsi, Coke, nothing against one company or the other, they're all equally bad for us, health-wise. So they hit you, they want to control you by hitting your bliss point. Once they have hit your bliss point, you will keep coming back. So put so much sugar in it, I think it's 12 teaspoonfuls of sugar in one can. More. So it's good for business, but it's not good for our health. So remember that when you talk about how others are manipulating your bliss. Eventually the goal should be to be aware of your bliss and manipulate, if the word is right, your own bliss. So I think that was the message, that was the hack. To go break all the paths that we go through and go where the soma is, or where the money is, as we say in the US. So the soma, bliss is the key. In fact, if I may ask, what are our motivations in life? What are our usual motivations in life? Just think about it. Food, sex. One will say music, hard rock,
All kinds.
heavy metal,
No, not all kinds.
all kinds. What connects all these?
Enjoyment, satisfaction, connecting. Yes. Pleasure.
Pleasure. Pleasure connects to what? Bliss.
Happiness.
So, happiness, we are all seeking in every little thing we are doing. However, the ancient message is, we already have it. In fact, it goes even deeper. We have it without the need for anything. Now we say, what is he talking about? Do I have it without the need for anything? That is something I want you to pay attention very quietly. And that's the meditation for 2 minutes. I want each of you to be very quiet and notice if there is any point in you that is happy. Forget all the nonsense, the static, the pain, the discomfort. Is there something in you that is full of joy? Now let me make it easier. Think of the most dear thing to you in life. Could be your grandchild, could be a friend, could be music, something that you really love. Now hold that for a moment and keep that feeling. And you can do that even later. The most beautiful thing, the thing you love the most in your life. What happens when you think about it? Do you feel something? You may touch a point of intense happiness. The way it's described is, the word that is used is Indu. Indu is a drop. It's one drop. So, go back to your awareness. Go back to your sense of your whole space, psychological, physical, mental, emotional space. And identify that bliss that is sustaining you. That is always there, just one drop. And if you can't find it, think of something that you really love. And as you meditate on it, you may touch that point of happiness. So, this is not, you don't have to discover, this is just a self-discovery. It is a point where you realize what drives you. Most of the time in our life, we are enhancing that bliss. Things we enjoy the most, we seek after them, thinking they're important in themselves. Those things are there only to enhance our happiness. What our ancient teaching is, we don't need anything outside to enhance our happiness except what we love the most. That's how I take it. Agni is love. I hold it intensely in my awareness. Out of that comes bliss. That is the ancient step I saw. You worship fire, you love fire, and boom, now you're into bliss. What happened here? That is, I think, the hidden connection. So, what is it and where? An ancient statement is, from bliss we are born. Now you can take it any which way you want. We are born of bliss. In bliss we live, and to bliss we return. So if we can identify this bliss and hold it, we can cut through the chase, all these distractions, and we can identify what is truly important to us, and we can realize about ourselves so much that we have missed. Okay, I think I am done with my meditation. How to find your bliss? Each of us has to find it his own way. You all have your own way. You have what you love the most. Pay attention to why you go after it. You will find at the end of it, you get joy out of it. Very banal statement, but now hold on to that happiness. How to follow it? Hold it in your awareness with everything. That inner fire which is burning inside you, pour everything into it. That is the ancient message. How to transform your life. You will realize that if you can hold that bliss constantly, something will change. Some chemical change will happen. I'll let you figure it out. That's your journey. It is your journey which you have come in your own unique way. How to grow some soma. Now, when scientists study the Veda, they think it was a plant, some plant that they squeezed and got the juice out of. The plant is you. You are the creator of your soma. You are the body of your own bliss. To soma it up. And then there are elaborate descriptions. And you love the descriptions. I'll just one more, 30 more seconds. They describe how to create the soma, drop by drop to hold it in the vessel of your heart. So if we can practice that and hold that vessel in the vessel of our heart, our own bliss, then that is the first step in the journey towards self-knowledge. All right, I think this will help you. Even poets, I know Angela's brain is already finding new symbols of Agni in there. But Dr. Maria, would you like to read your poem first? We start with you. Then I think Angela is going to read. Makarand, Max is going to read. I think Dr. Vidier is going to read.
Just, with your permission, I just wanted to say a few words.
Yes. By the way, he is one of the most prolific authors and well-known writers across the globe. You must know this. And he's well-known. He doesn't talk about himself. He is widely published and one of the best editors that I've seen. And then Juan, you have a poem. And I think, who else has a poem? You have a poem?
Raise your hand.
Yeah, if you don't mind, please raise your hand so we can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, great.
If there's time.
There is time. We have time.
We can always, postpone it for the next session. We can't finish all our soma immediately, right? So I just wanted to say a couple of things. One is to connect the last episode of the Amazing Vedas, which was all on Agni, which was all on fire, and the episode today on soma and how they connect. And it's an insight that came to me because I was thinking about it. And when you said that you squeeze your body, right? Because you're the plant. And that's what we do. You take a jog, and you get this bliss point after you run a little bit, right? So Agni is that which fires you up, which really impels you, urges you, inspires you, and enables you to do wonderful things, heroic acts. So just maybe cook a wonderful lasagna, okay? And then when you eat it, there is soma. So the two are completely linked, you see? Because the effort required to do something extraordinary is always rewarded by a sense of achievement. That high that you experience, that is soma. So if you just think about the sort of dialectical relationship between these two, the heat, the energy that you have to put in, gather all your force together to accomplish something, and then when you get what you want, there's that sense of heightened bliss. But then you can't hold on to it, you see? You can't say, I want to be at the bliss point forever. Then there's also coming down. And then again the cycle. So that's what the Vedas write at the beginning, as it were, of our journey as human beings. Till today, it's pointing to something really important. And what Dr. Singh said, the other side, the dark side, what's happened to modern civilization, which Maria always talks about, it's turning us into zombies or vampires. Just think about it, I leave it there, okay? We can elaborate some other time. So Maria.
I guess I'm going to give this a try. I don't usually read poems of my own, but this was just something that came. It just comes to me, just like it comes to all of you. It doesn't take a lot of thought; it just comes, and things that inspire me, and a lot of them have to do with my life as it is and as it was. And this is a very short poem, but if you'd like to think about it and dwell on it, see how it resonates with you. But I entitled it, Take Me With You. And if I can dedicate this to two people today. One who is a very special person here at home who has undergone a kidney transplant today. And a big operation, and we will be hearing hopefully from her family soon. She had a wonderful donor friend, gave her a kidney. And so we wish Donna all the best, all our love to Donna. And today happens to be the anniversary of the birth of Diane Friedberg. And where is Diane? She's here with us. Diane, she's 25 today. Happy birthday, Diane.
Happy birthday.
Very special. Take me with you. The road is calling. Moon shines o'er the pastures. Bales of grain and bean all tucked in tight. The owl in monkey vocals ends in vibrato. Hail be the night. Winds carry the mantra of wisdom. The sound of your heart unheard. Fireflies beaming at whim. Not a twig stirred. The spirit moves unseen. The cricket knows best the night. As all underfoot take heed, no one take flight. Ah, the time has come. Anticipation and yearn for a moment. Done and undone, all in one. A chariot at last. No steed or whip. Your eyes meet mine. Take me with you. Next.
Mine's very short.
I'm on, and so this is very short. I wrote this kind of as a meditation or a mantra of something that I'm always trying to hold on to. It's funny because the topics today kind of tie into this, but it's called The Poetry of Everything. I remember now, it was always like this. It's in the spaces between us. God, I miss this.
We're trying to project it for you.
Oh,
You can read
mine's
it.
not. Oh, I didn't send it in.
Oh, you didn't send it out.
Yeah, because I'm a bit busy, so no worries. So I'll start over. So again, it's called The Poetry of Everything, and again, it's very short. It's more so my daily reminder to hold on to certain things that I can easily forget, but I think it's something we all struggle with. I remember now, it was always like this. It's in the spaces between us. God, I miss this. Like a deep breath, so many arms around us. You can't hold on to everything. It's the poetry of everything. I remember now, it's in the spaces between us. Take my furrowed brow, slow me down, and turn off my brain. I remember now, it's the poetry of everything.
I guess you wrote it when you were doing all the assignments.
Yes.
Who would like to come next? Angela, you want to do it? You have it here?
Yeah, the first one is called, no, that's not mine. It's called Sunset.
Nora?
And there's another one there next to it, which is called Enchanted. Okay. And of course, living in Florida and being close to the Gulf, so much of that is very inspiring and leads you to think about all that connects us. all the things sometimes we don't see. Okay, sunset. The color, constant as the waves, spreads its fire as peace. I remember your fire in the peacefulness, and nothing can touch me except the wind, still yet traveling, the sand and I absorb it all, perchance to dream. Such fire, such peace. I think that kind of ties in with today's theme of agni and the purity of fire. And of course, in the Greek language, agni means purity, but fire purifies. And I'm a fire sign. Okay. The next one is entitled Enchanted. Okay. And there are many ways to interpret this. There is one word there where you may have some difficulty connecting it. The word pendicular comes from the root word pentacle, and pentacle is somewhat associated to the word appendage or an extension, an arm. You won't find it in the dictionary for the most part, or even on your cell phones, but if you do enough research, you should find it with that root word, pentacle. Okay. Enchanted. The enchanted loom weaves the souls abroad into the topsoil of awakening. Tendrils of emotion twine, unveiling new thresholds of awe in this, the most divine part. A ganglion of forces, this ultimate engine, foliate and pendicular, is harmony in movement and wondrous alchemy.
Sister to Sister, we are different yet the same. Differences between northern women and southern women, but we did it through poetry. It's in libraries, whatever. Anyway, my next book is going to be called Change, okay? And I bought pieces for that next book because my bliss is helping others and telling their story. So I'm only going to read one. Maybe you'll know who I'm talking about. Lord, I'm tired of this life that has caused me nothing but pain. Tired of living a life when I struggle to remain sane. Tired of moving from bench to bench. Tired of being surrounded by human stench. Tired of people thinking I am nobody and looking at me in disgust. Tired of not knowing whom to turn to or to trust. Tired of eating someone's thrown away food. Tired of being called a homeless dude. Tired of being labeled a dangerous drug user. Tired of being watched by a police cruiser. Tired of people seeing me and closing their doors. Tired of sleeping on cold concrete floors. Tired of saying, just let me be. Lord, I'm tired of wondering what's next for me.
And I would like to read a poem that was written by someone else about Yvonne. And she's a pretty remarkable person. And this is called Ode to a Poet for Yvonne Bondurant. This woman, not as pale as a ghost, but not as dark as her ancestors, stood in front of us with her heart exposed. I had expected a rather erudite rendition of the poetry that has evolved since her ancestors walked this land. I had expected perhaps someone lively and entertaining, or at least eloquent and accomplished. This angel is all those things and more. She told her story as if she were the entrance to a labyrinth. Step here, turn there, straight through at the bend. This is the way to my heart. She wasn't wrapped in silks, but we saw the flow. She wasn't wrapped in woolens, but her warmth spread through the audience. She wasn't naked, but she was. Each layer peeled gave us a glimpse into the woman of many accomplishments, and she is more than a sister, more than a sister, more than a poet celebrated. She's the embodiment of wounded woman gone healed, sacred space taking a feminine form, the beloved in a business suit, member of the board, not bored, still able to think outside the box. Who she is was both hard-won and a gift from God. We saw standing at the podium a fully human woman telling her true story. The rarest bird of all, Willa Koretz, is the name of the poet.
My name is Dennis Capello, and this is called The Infinitely Distant Classmate. Drifting into astronomy class, we touched down next to each other, a boy and a girl, in the same adjacent seats week after week, like two suns swirling in binary orbit, never getting closer or farther from one another, physically close yet worlds apart. As we say hello, I become all too aware of an unseen force at work, like dark energy, countering the pull of our flirtation. Class launches. The professor drones on. But my thoughts reach escape velocity. I imagine us two celestial bodies seized in the throes of opposing tides. The yin of your gravity, the yang of my centrifugal force. You smile, radiant with magnetism. Spinning, I resist the desire to collide with you. Frozen in a way, a force field between us, unable even to enter your event horizon. After class, we fly off like comets to the remote parts of our social system, eventually to whip back in and do it again. yes, we make small talk while I dream big. We bond over an affinity from the old show Cosmos. Our chatter like tiny solar flares flickering across the vacuum between us. Amidst the shared smiles, I cry out for you, voicelessly, like an astronaut screaming across the inky cold void of shyness. Thank you.
A prize from the Hernando County Library System, and his poem won that. Which poem was that, Dennis? That one. Okay, so thank you very much.
First name, last name, or otherwise?
And social date of birth.
What was that?
Social security number and date of birth.
Okay. That thing on? Yes, it is. Okay. I'm Jennifer, and I'm acquainted with Angela and Bob. And I forget your name, but you're Dennis. I've been acquainted with a few of you from years ago or recently. Anyway, I have a little break for you today. My poem, Blue. Blue? Not for you. You see, my dear, I forgot the rest of it. Oh, gee. I really did. We have it. Blue, blue for you, not anymore. You see, my dear, I closed that door.
Anybody else? Makarand, Max, you gotta pose this.
Okay.
He's Professor, should I call him Professor Makarand?
Whatever you want.
Want me to hold it for you?
No, I can try. Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you to all the poets who came here, who read. You're very welcome. Thank you, Angela. You read beautifully, if I may say so. And I liked your etymological explanation. I was thinking of a perpendicular. There's a word we all know. Perpendicular is a word you use. So I just wanted to say we all love language, words, and what they signify. Because the word is not the thing, right? We want to get to the thing in itself. But the word usually points to something beyond itself. So I hope that more people will come and enjoy these beautiful and healing surroundings. Thank you, Dr. Maria. Thank you, Lenora, and everybody else. Thank you, Mike, for the recording. Happy birthday, Diana. Such a beautiful soul, luminous soul, who's deeply connected with the moon. Dr. Singh was talking about the moon drop. Hindu means moon drop. So the Vedas consider the moon drop to be that drop of bliss, which kind of winds us down at the end of a very hard day and gives us that restful repose that we so long for. So please spread the word. We would like to do this once a month with your help and blessings, and make this space open so everyone who's inclined to touch something deeper than our mundane existence. Am I right? Okay, so, and youngsters. Well, that's a challenge because we seem to inhabit different planets. Maybe Lenora can read a poem and give her device a bit of rest. As a mom keeps saying, the golden handcuff, there is silver in color, but maybe her friends can come. Maybe Nathan, who is graduating, can come with some friends of his to read some poems or read just things that they are concerned about. Who knows?
Yeah, I was trying to get my nephew to come tonight, and he's a young guy, and it's important for us to do that. And so the more we can keep encouraging them, then I think eventually it will seep
slightly different take on this. Only the young can draw the young. They are not interested in us. So we need a kind of mascot from their generation who can somehow make this seem cool enough for them just to drop in for a bit. I don't know, that's my thought, but maybe Lenora can help. Someone we need from that Gen Z to help us out, I feel.
A device I often use in my classes would be to get them to write a rap song.
Okay.
And my nephew is a musician, and he's a marvelous writer. But writing lyrics, very often in people's minds, is not poetry, but it is.
It is, but we can ask him to perform for us.
And so that is, I think, a very important aspect of being able to draw young people in with that language, because, again, it represents their experience. And I think that is very important also for them to know that they are, we are.
Angela, I don't want to interrupt you, we're just talking to ourselves.
Right, but we are willing to hear that.
We are, but they don't maybe know it. But I mean, let's think about it. And my instinct is if a younger person did all of this, if they brought a friend, if you bring your nephew, maybe that's the start. But I completely agree. In fact, this amazing Vedas is for Gen Z. I don't know how many Gen Z are tuning in, but we're trying. So let's see how that goes. But anyhow.
Well, Diane is almost Gen Z.
Yes, it's a circle.
I'm on the other end.
Yes.
Dr. Singh, you just put on like the next new outfits, the Gen Z outfit. 6, 7.
You can help one because you're a musician, or I don't know. We can think about this, but certainly on 31st we can make an announcement and maybe invite the younger people here. I don't know. These are just thoughts, brainstorming at the end. But do you want a poem, or
Yes.
we can leave this with you?
Yes.
Okay. So actually, it's appropriate in a manner of speaking because it's called Return Gift. And it's actually,
Let's put it up.
yes, we could. And it's actually dedicated to Dr. Singh. And it came about in an interesting way because, he was working on this collection, Satya. So it's called For Being on the Truth. Satya actually means truth. So he would send me these poems, and then he'd say, okay, the collection is done, let's go and publish it. And then next day there'd be another poem, not next day, next night. And this would keep going on. But the point I'm trying to make, which is an indirect point, is that, most people think that poetry comes from life. And possibly it does. Probably it does. But actually poetry comes from poetry. It's so interesting. That language comes from language, doesn't come from life. Anyhow, it's something to think about, okay? But Return Gift for P. And it's supposed to be a sonnet, for whatever that's about. So my introductory sentence was, what happens when you receive an especially moving and daily evolving collection of poems from a friend? Poetry creates its own response, which is not a reaction, but a new creation. So in a way, words fertilize words. So the cycle continues. Your poem arrives, welcome verses at dawn. Through twilight's gloom and late night seance, I struggled over the meaning of things. But the morning visitation makes it all right. Elation gleams in the overmined stream. That's a bit of soma for you, right? Elation gleams in the overmined stream. muse entwined in spirit's upward spiral, dances in the light that sacred visions shine. Unlike the undermine's cold, creeping shade, or under wind's foul breath from vital stale, mere gas creeping over sodden ground. Yet in your lines, our deeper purpose is found. The tide that persists in quicksand or shifting ground. Poetry, the paraclete with flaming wand, eternal awake against the dark night's howl.
Anybody else? What do we call it? Ashu poets. Ashu poets are poets. Poetry comes right away.
I have stuff, but I don't know. Okay.
All right, we've got some Gen Z.
Oh, that's terrific.
I'm Aiden. The Gen Z thing really inspired me. I was like, you know what, maybe I should read. So, I'll read a couple. I go to the University of Tampa. My major is writing. So, and my poetry professor thinks I'm pretty good, so I hope that translates. Alright, so this first one is called Play It Again, My Ragtime in Red. Them towns are empty now. Streets stretched quiet, stripped of magic. All gone, save for one old show. A lone beauty crying to none, linen gloves tracing ivory keys. Her fingers march to tune, for a world slipping out. A world in peril as I sat. The bass hummed low and steady, chords electric, proud and stout, but not a soul was watching, only me at her bass. Play it again, my ragtime in red. Play it again, but for whom? Play it again, for me and myself. Play it again, it's all the same. I smiled and nodded, and still she kept the harmony. A kick, a snare, a stride and a leap. Each time she played, I saw the ones who danced, their shadows stitched in dust, their stains, their bruises, their grace. Will we dream in the end? Who's to say? Not me, of course. Am I ready to let it go? Who is? Not me, not you. From dusk until dawn, that old bird played, so long, so boundless, as the world faded into fade. Okay, so this one is part of a collection I wrote. I thought this one was particularly decent. I said, what once was a city now lay in ash. The world had put the gate up to man, yet man stayed and broke through. Clinging to what moments they had left, still the old bluff stood peering. A quiet and fuliginous world it saw. The sky didn't offer much these days, the sun's peering eye like a grieving mother. The trees, long charred, where the branches stayed. A man and his child stood here at a point, a journey to defy the clock that ticked overhead. They found this bluff a good a place as any to camp. The boy would ask stories about these hills, a tender innocence for an unbefitting wasteland. The man assured the boy that God blessed these hills, that if men had gone, then there would still be flame. That the man did not believe his own words. He was haunted by the times that came before. A cruel phantom built on the very same cravings of those who stood here before these two. But the man ought to journey on, this bluff in its voice a gentle assurance.
You could put it out there, writers, poets, people who are creative. We need to, appeal to all of them. I think to have it as just a more of a Vedic type of thing, it might be a little bit too biased. I'm just saying it. I'm just being honest. It's not that it's wonderful. I'm not trying to less in the Veda, but I think that we need to have an open forum for all poetry. And, gifted writers, people who have some really beautiful things to say and things that can transform this world. So let's start here. Sure, we're trying to do things here every day to make change. And this kind of talent is really, really needed for sure. So please get the word out. We will do our part here at home. And thank you all for being here, Dr. Singh and Dr. Pariksith, and all the people who have helped us, Lenora, our lovely daughter, and Mary, and Mike, and everyone, and Angela, all of that which you've contributed to making this all possible. So you really have to keep it going, keep it going.